Hello guys, welcome to another episode of the Spotlight with Kalishta. Yes, today we'll be looking at Barcelona. A lot has been happening in Barcelona with Lionel Messi in the news. And Coutinho is back to training after winning the Champions League with Bayern Munich. Then we'll go to the Nations League. We'll go back to the Premier League, where it's a few days before the Premier League, the new season starts. But I'll have a guest with me that will dissect everything that is happening in the world of football. Stick with me. I'll be right back. Yes, I earlier said that I will have a guest in the studio that will dissect everything that is happening in the world of football. He's no other than Chibuzo, my very good friend. It's nice to have you, Chibuzo.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being on this episode of the show.
Yeah, so how have you been doing? How have been the COVID period?
Well, I'm glad the world is opening up and the Premier League is coming back very soon.
Woo! That's good, but before we go to Premier League, let's talk about Barcelona. I need to adjust my seat. But before we go to what is happening with Messi, Saga, and the rest, I want to talk about Coutinho. If you were a Barcelona player and you see Coutinho coming to the training, what would you do? What would be the first thing that will come to your head? Please, after that drama in the Champions League, him scoring against them, and the worst part, the motherfucker went to celebrate. What would you have done?
Well, I don't want to be in that shoes, but I would have. I would have taken his handshake if he gave me one.
Me? You don't need to give me hands. Once I see you, man, I will just bring Anthony Joshua style into it. I'm just joking. But I knew that when he came to that training ground, there will be some kind of bad blood. Like, he won't flow for the first two training. Because it was devastating for Barcelona fans.
You can say that.
So let's go to Messi now. So Messi finally did not leave Barcelona, or he chose not to again. I know there's a way they would have gone about the clause. There are clubs that are ready to sell whatever player or do anything to bring Messi in. And Messi had other options, like taking Barcelona to court, but he chose not to. Why? I think there's a reason beyond the 700 million.
Well, for me, from my own point of view, I think Messi doesn't want to leave Barcelona in a bad blood. I think he's a legend at the moment. And
Neymar left in a bad blood.
Well, Neymar is not a legend.
That's true, though.
Yeah,
that's true.
But Messi wouldn't want to leave in a bad blood, and he's given so much to Barcelona, as much as Barcelona has made so much of Messi. So I think he would want to leave amicably, maybe get a statue outside the Camp Nou, like David Silva got outside Man City. So I think he just wants to leave in a very good time.
And you think it's the right decision for Barcelona at this point in time that Messi came out to say in his statement, he said he's not happy here. You know, attitudes of players that aren't happy and you leave them in a club, you tend not to do well that season. So is it a good idea for Barcelona to still hold on to keeping Messi in Barcelona? With him not being happy with the club, will it enable them to perform better next season?
Well, I think it's just 1 year. So I think it's 1 year they can sacrifice.
1 year is a lot.
It's a lot.
They sacrificed a lot last season. They lost the La Liga, they lost Champions League. Woefully, are they ready to sacrifice again? Will you pay a ticket to go and watch any Barcelona game again if you were a Barcelona fan?
Well, it's all because of Messi. People will come to. But you saw the kids that were going outside waiting for Messi at the training ground.
That's true. And they were even crying. Some were crying, actually. Okay, so what do you think the Barcelona club need to do, especially the president, needs to do to put in place to see a better, a well-known Barcelona we know next season? Like, they need to get players that can fill in position that they have left, like that Iniesta vibe, that back in the days Piqué. Do you understand?
What I can say is that I'm happy that this is happening now. So they're very much aware that, okay, he's going to leave or he's about leaving. It's open now and it's glaring that he wants to. So I think it's good for them now that they can start making a succession plan for when he gets to leave. So 1 year is enough time.
Barcelona is not people that make succession plans. Look at when Neymar left. Suarez is even thinking of going to Inter. There are a lot of people, of most of their players, and they don't even have anybody ready to fill in these guys' positions.
Because they were banking on Messi, but I'm glad he's leaving now.
Messi can't play the whole part.
Yeah, but he was pivotal in the team. So let's just see what happens after he leaves.
Okay, so now let's talk Premier League. Yes, and now to the Premier League. Yes, the Premier League is going to start very soon, like in a few days from now. What are you expecting from this season, especially from these clubs? Sheffield United, Wolves, Leeds are back to the Premier League after like 4-5 years. So what are you expecting these guys to do? Even Aston Villa, they have been signing good players like Alan. They have been signing good people. Everton. What do you think this club would bring to the table of the Big Four?
Do we still have a big four? I thought it's the big six. Well,
Yes, actually, which Big Six? Don't add Man U, please. It's the Big Four, man.
okay, sorry, the big four. But for the Premier League coming back, I think it's the transfer has shown that it's kept its stage, its theme as the best league in the world. We've seen good transfers
Yes.
coming from both the big clubs and the small clubs. You've seen Everton sign some very good players. I really like the midfield in Everton.
Yes,
We've seen-
Angelino is doing good.
Yeah,
He's
he
good.
has to actually live up to
He's
his
a good
name
coach.
this time.
Yes.
And then we've seen Wolves break their record signing and getting
Fabio Silva
Silva
from Porto. He's
A
good.
very fantastic player in him. So I think everybody's actually rebuilding. And
Except
Sheffield-
Man U. Let's not go there, just go.
United-
They are doing well.
They're doing
We'll
well.
see you from the
So
first 3 games.
The transfer is still open, and I think we'll still get in
Really?
players. Well, left back.
You guys are still
Sancho
struggling
maybe.
with Sancho. No.
Well, let's see how it goes. But for so far, I think the league is going to be mind blowing. We're going to see tough battles, and there really is no big team or small team anymore. And
When I sit down and I'm thinking about the Premier League, I have this goosebumps because I really can't wait for Saturday. Can you wait?
I think the world can't wait for
I
Saturday.
said
The world's waiting.
I won't go
patiently
there
for
anywhere that
Saturday.
day.
And we want to see Chelsea, Liverpool.
Hmm.
We've seen Chelsea go to the market and do a lot.
So you want to see if what they bought was fake or
Not
original?
fake, but we want to see what they can do, what Lampard can do with all that. He's asked for them and he's gotten them, so
Haven't.
no excuse.
No excuse.
excuse.
No excuse this time. But
No excuse
even
this
Man United will not have excuse this time, right? It's
we
not
get-
anybody's fault that they don't buy players. Oh, you guys are broke now.
Yeah, Woodward said we're broke. So we're
You're
broke.
broke.
Even.
Wow, a whole Man United is broke. Whoa, that's surprising. Now, in the Nations League, let's divert a little to the Nations League. We saw a fan against the England and Iceland game that happened a few days back. But the process at which the fans went through before he was allowed to be in the stadium to watch the game, do you see this happening in the Premier League this coming season? Are you anticipating to see that fans will be allowed back, even if it's not in the large numbers, like maybe 1,500 you see from each supporters? Do you see it? Because the procedure was very difficult. You travel down to England, you isolate yourself for at least 5 days, you pay for your own hotel, you eat, they monitor you, come out, run like 3-4 tests. Do you see this happening in the Premier League this coming season?
Not just the Premier League, I think all the big leagues in the world they have to put in, because football is not the same without fans. So I think all the big leagues will put in measures to make sure they bring in the fans back to the stadium, so we can get the feel and the vibe, not just for the viewers but for the players as well. I think it's totally different when the players play without fans in closed environment and when they play with the fans. And I believe the players can't wait to have the fans back in the stadium. And like you say, they're going to come into the stadium in small folds, like in 500s and 1,000 before it's fully open. And they'll put in precautionary measures like the isolation part or some test parts to make sure everybody's safe.
But if I'll put this question to you, if you're a Man U fan, right, and you are in Nigeria, will you go through the stress of going to travel, spend your money, isolate yourself just to watch the first game of United? Are you that?
I don't think so.
So I think I think the procedure is too hectic for the fans, since we now have a pandemic. What's it called? The vaccine.
Okay, the vaccine.
Yeah, so there should be a way, because I can't wait to see fans, because when there's fans, it motivates the player. You see the difference.
So, well, I think like you said, with that and other measures will be put in place to make sure everybody's safe, not just the fans but the players as well and the coaching staff. Everybody in the stadium should be safe.
Put that in mind. So Chelsea went to the market, and according to everybody, the players are good. They are good choices. Do you think they will be able to succeed in the Premier League? Because these are players coming in from different leagues, And most of the times we saw most players like Murata from Atlético, he didn't do well in the Premier League because the system is different. Do you think Frank Lampard will be able to manage these guys and bring a better result for Chelsea?
First of all, I have to say I admire Frank Lampard a lot, a great deal. He's a fantastic player, fantastic personality, and I think over time he's going to make a fantastic coach as well. But players moving from different leagues to a new league, it always takes a while for them to adapt.
Yeah.
And we over the week we had the former Dortmund coach say that Aubameyang was given 6 months before he could adapt into Arsenal.
It was more than even 6 months. Yeah.
So
it took him time.
He was requesting that
even Lacazette
Havertz get that same amount of time before an expectation is being demanded of him. So like I said, it shows how poor the Chelsea team has been for new players to actually fit into the first team immediately. About 5 new players fitting into the first team immediately.
Because they sold most of their...
Yeah, and apart from that, they don't even trust most of what they have. We could see Abraham kicked out of the top 9.
Abraham, I tend to disagree with you. Abraham wasn't kicked out. I was a strong advocate for Abraham. I watched Abraham right from the time he came into the Premier League from the academy. Abraham did well before the pandemic. If you as a coach fighting to be in the top 4 that nobody saw you at the beginning of the season and you put the type of Abraham and he misses opportunity, you have to bring back Loftus-Cheek who has been out for 1 year. It's not about kicking Abraham. I think Abraham was definitely so deformed and he didn't work on himself as hard as the other players did to make the first team. He threw it away and he said it himself. He said he was trying to improve. Nobody kicked Abraham out. Abraham was so deformed during the pandemic. He did not do excessive training like the way Messi, Mount and Pulisic did.
Okay. So what I'm going to say is going to take a while for them to gel and get to play together.
That's
Coming
true.
from different clubs, different leagues.
But you saw them during the preseason. They were doing much better.
They were doing good.
But that's the preseason. You can never
write off.
Like the way Liverpool won 7-2.
So,
wow, that was.
We can't wait for the league to start so we see what they can.
Man City. Let's briefly rush through Man City. Man City got Ake from Bournemouth, and Ake was a former Chelsea player for a long time. Do you think that's a good signing from Man City?
Over time we've seen Guardiola struggle with his defense here
because he wants to win the Champions League at all costs. I think that's what's keeping him in the Man City.
So we've seen him struggle with defense, and he's been always spend a lot of money trying to build his defense. And I think getting Ake has been a good player for Bournemouth, and coming to City, it's going to be easy for him to make that switch and adapt because it's the same league, and City is a good team, and Guardiola is a good coach. So.
And he's in luck that when he sold Sané, Raheem Sterling is still in form. Raheem Sterling is scoring goals in England. He gave them the one goal through penalty against Iceland. He's in luck.
Greenwood got, but you don't want to mention that, but it's fine.
I just got what he said, that Greenwood got. And what does that has to do with Raheem Sterling? Really?
He also didn't mention that Fernandes got a penalty.
So why? Because that is his hobby. That's his title, man.
Well, apart from that,
it's like you saying Giroud scores with the head. He's very good on air. That's what Bruno is. His signature is penalties, and I think he's rubbing off on Greenwood too.
I don't mind as long as you get a goal.
Really?
Yeah.
So you have to go to every game. Man United have to go to.
Van der Beek has been getting penalties too, so it's a complete team for us in United.
But it was good having you on the show, Chibuzo. Please don't be a stranger.
Not at all.
You'll come on my show next time, right?
Sure.
Yeah, you're a G, man.
Yeah.
Poo. Yes, thank you guys for sticking with me for the show. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channels. I can't wait to see you next week where we talk about the first Premier League game. Yep. Don't go anywhere.